Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Akada Children's Book Festival 2020. We will be bringing you more fun, more stories, more dance, more laughter, more everything you like. My name is Joyce Daniels and you can call me JD. Now, there is a story of a lion and a very smart dog. The lion, who is called the king of the jungle, wanted to trick the duck into danger. Will the lion succeed? Find out in this session with author Modupe Adeyemo.
Dr. Modupe Adeyemo Oyetade is a dental surgeon and she loves to write children's books, of which she has written quite a few. Amongst them are Ivana Sears, Ivana and Friends, Ivana Catches a Cold, Ivana Begins Again, Ivana Saves Christmas, Wura Gets a Goat, Mana Smells a Rat, Is That What It Is, and Lion and the Duck series, which also includes The Lion and the Duck, The Foolish Lion, The Singing Lion, and The Wise Duck.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Modupe Adeyemo Oyetade. I'm a dental surgeon and I also write children's books. One of my books is The Lion and the Duck series. I'll be reading from this book. I hope you've been enjoying the Akada Children's Book Festival, the first of its kind in Nigeria. Happy listening. Once upon a time, in a remote village in West Africa, there lived a duck in the stream near the jungle. The duck was a very good friend to all the other animals. She didn't like to see other animals unhappy. The duck could cheer up the sad bees with her lovely quacks. She could even cheer up the angry lion. She would sing her favorite song. The world is a happy place, just keep a cheerful face, live at your own pace, with lovely sweet grace. The duck quacked so beautifully that every animal liked her. She was a sweet white duck. Her white feathers would shine under the bright sun and she would swim and quack all day. Of all the animals in the remote village, only the lion did not like the duck. The lion was always angry with her. All he could think of was how he was going to eat her up. The lion thought of a plan to get to the duck. He thought he would go and try to get the duck out of the water. The moment the duck stepped on the land, the lion would catch her and eat her up. The plan seemed good to the lion, but there was a small problem. The duck never left the water, she always stayed in it. The lion thought and thought. One day he came up with a plan. He planned to trick the duck with a lie. The next morning, the lion went near the stream and saw the duck swimming in the water as usual. "Good morning, my friend. Do you want to see something?" The lion asked nicely. "Good morning, my friend lion. What is it?" the duck replied. The lion asked the duck to come out of the water to see a juicy red worm. However, the duck refused to step out and told him to bring it to her instead. "I would have, my friend, but you see, I can't put sand in my mouth," the lion said, pretending to be sad. "Oh, hard luck! I can't leave the water," the duck replied and started swimming away. After a few days, the lion thought of a second lie and came to the stream. The duck was singing a cheerful song. The lion stopped her in the middle of her song. "My friend, have you heard the good news? Your family is coming to visit you. They are waiting for you near the big pond. Why don't you come out with me and I will take you to them?" The lion sounded very excited while it was telling the duck so that he could convince her. But the duck didn't look very excited or convinced. She knew her family wasn't coming till the harmattan, and she told the lion so. Once again, the duck caught the lion's lie. The lion got fed up. He decided to think of another plan, but this time he wanted to be sure his plan worked. This time the lion decided to woo the duck, so he came near the stream and started singing for her. Oh, sweet white duck, you are the prettiest duck around. When you sing your sweet, sweet song, I simply love the sound. The duck was pleased to hear the song. Oh, really? Am I so pretty? No one has ever told me this before, the duck said shyly. The lion was smiling in his mind, thinking that the plan had worked. I think you're a sweet friend, after all that the monkeys have been saying about you, the duck continued. The smiles disappeared from the lion's face. He frowned and asked, "What monkeys? What did they say?" The duck remained quiet and looked at the lion. The lion was getting annoyed. "What did those monkeys say?" the lion asked again, this time in a rude manner. The duck looked away and replied, "That you are not who you say you really are." The lion became very angry hearing the reply. He started moving to and fro. "I am not what I say I really am? What nonsense! How dare they say that?" the lion said. "I am a lion, am I not? I kill and eat as I please, don't I?" The lion roared angrily. The duck was afraid to see the lion like that, but she understood that the lion was just pretending to be nice and he would devour her if she dared step out of the stream. The duck quacked and swam away from the hungry lion. He didn't get his way, and instead of tricking the duck, he got tricked himself. The end. Thanks for listening. I hope you're enjoying the Akada Children Book Festival. Thank you. There are some new words in this book for you to learn. Unhappy means not being happy, being sad. Pretending, being something you are not. Activity time. Thank you for listening. To contact me, I am on Twitter at Dr. Modupe Author. My Instagram handle is Dr. Modupe_author, and my website is www.drmodupeauthor. In this series, there are 3 other books, and also they are also translated to Yoruba. The books include The Singing Lion, The Foolish Lion, and The Young White Wise Duck. The Yoruba books are Kìnìún tó gọ̀, Pẹ́pẹ́yẹ funfun ọlọ́gbọ́n, Kìnìún àti Pẹ́pẹ́yẹ, àti Kìnìún olórin dúdùn. I've also written other books including Ivana series, which are Ivana Goes to the Farm, Ivana Begins Again, Ivana Catches a Cold, Ivana Saves Christmas. Thank you for listening. Stay blessed.
Bad lion trying to eat the duck. Oh, thank you, Modupe Adeyemo. Remember that you can browse through our book exhibition and artwork here at the festival. But after the festival, the fun doesn't have to end. If you run to the Google Play Store and download the Clever Clogs app. The app is perfect for children aged 2 to 6. If you have been looking for a way to teach your children how to tell the time, learn their shapes and colors, the app will be just the thing for you. Check it out today. Please give us your feedback when you use the app so we can make it even better. So now, let's dance.
It's still ST here, and we're still on Dance with Mommy, Daddy and Me by Dance Rappy. So we've learned the Skelewu and the Shakiti Bobo. Now we're going to be learning the Azonto. So grab Mommy, grab Daddy. Are you ready? Great, let's dance. Now to the learning part. Our first step, the first thing you do is to squat. And the hand movement goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Now the leg movement goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. Now combining the leg and the hand movement, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Now that was the Azonto. We're going to do the dance to the music. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's dance.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You
boys and girls and mamas and papas. My name is Shokbe Martins and I am the author of a picture book called The Greatest Animal in the Jungle. Now, if you haven't heard of it or you haven't seen it, here it is. The Greatest Animal in the Jungle. And this book tells the story of a mouse named Afue. And Afue does not like being a mouse. Anyway, I'm going to use Afue's story to talk to you today about something that I think is really cool, and that is superpowers. Yes, because they are real. Now, I'm not talking about flying like Superman or having super strength like Wonder Woman. I'm talking about the things that set you apart from everyone around you. Yes, because every single one of us has been put here on this earth to fill a role. That means that every single one of us is better at least one thing than the people around us, right? And that is the thing about you that you can contribute to the world to make it a better place. All right? Now, I hope you have your copies of The Greatest Animal in the Jungle, because I'm going to read you a little bit from it, and I want you to read along with me, okay? So I want you to turn your pages to page 12 and paragraph 1, 2, 3. Page 12, paragraph 3. Are you there? Okay, here we go. With one wish, Afue could be anything he wanted to be. He wanted to be the greatest animal in the jungle. Owls are big and wise, said Afue, and they can fly really fast. I wish I were an owl. Afue's pointy mouse nose started to grow. It grew longer and sharper and harder until it wasn't a nose anymore. It was a beak. Afue's gray fur started to turn brown, and it grew fuller and fuller until he was covered in feathers. His hands became wings, and his legs became claws. The pendant was working. Afue was becoming an owl. Okay, and that is where we're going to end our reading of The Greatest Animal in the Jungle. So, in this book, in The Greatest Animal in the Jungle, we meet Afue, and it is very early in the morning when we meet him, and he's very excited because it is his birthday. Yes. So he decides that he's going to go to his godfather Tortoise's cave so that he can get a present from Tortoise. But on his way to the cave, he gets chased by an owl, and he gets very, very scared. And that is when he says to his godfather that, I don't want to be a mouse, I want to be something else. And so Godfather Tortoise decides that he's going to give him a special present this year. He's going to give him a pendant that grants wishes. Yes, and this is the pendant. And so Afue decides to make 5 wishes. And the very first thing that he wishes he could be is an owl. Yes, just like the one that chased him, because he thinks that owls are wise and they can fly. And so he thinks, well, they must be the greatest animals in the jungle. So he makes his wish and becomes an owl. But then as he's flying about, he notices a cheetah. And because he thinks, oh, now I'm the greatest animal in the jungle, he goes to the cheetah and says, who's the greatest animal in the jungle? But the cheetah says, nope, it's not you, it's me, because I'm really fast. And then the cheetah, she takes off in a cloud of dust, and Afue is left coughing and thinking, wow, such a fast animal. I want to be that animal. And so he makes his second wish and becomes a cheetah. And right after he becomes a cheetah, he starts running and he's loving it. But then he gets very, very hungry. But as a cheetah, he can't just make anyone get him food. But then he sees a lion doing just that. And so he wishes, well, if I can be a lion and anybody will get me food if I ask them or if I tell them, then that's the greatest animal in the jungle. And so he makes his wish, his third wish, to become a lion, and becomes a lion and is walking about and is feeling very happy because all of the animals in the jungle are bowing down to him and making way for him to walk. So he thinks, that's it, I'm the greatest animal in the jungle. But then there's one animal that doesn't bow down and doesn't give him its food, and that animal is the elephant. And the elephant says, nope, you're not the greatest. I'm the greatest. I have big, strong feet. I've got an amazing long trunk. I'm big and mighty. What are you? And Afue thinks to himself, she's right. Now I want to be an elephant. And so he makes his fourth wish and becomes an elephant. And that's where I'm going to stop the story so that I can tell you a little bit about our topic of the day. What is your superpower? So let's count how many superpowers we saw in that reading. So the owl was wise and could fly. The cheetah was fast. The lion was a leader, and the elephant was strong. That is 5 superpowers that I have counted. And maybe you have one of those superpowers. Are you really good at school? Are you wise like the owl? Or are you fast and win all your races like the cheetah? Or maybe you are the kind of person that when you say something, people will do it and all your friends listen to you. So maybe you're a leader like the elephant. So maybe you're a leader, actually not like the elephant, like the lion. Or are you strong like the elephant and really good at loads of sports? Well, congratulations. I told you it's really cool having a superpower, isn't it? But then there's another superpower that I haven't spoken about and that we can find in the story, in The Greatest Animal in the Jungle. And that superpower belongs to Afue. But it is a strange kind of superpower because it doesn't really seem like a superpower at first. It's like a secret superpower, all right? Now, if you read on in the story, you will see that, well, at the beginning of the story, Afuwe did not like being a mouse because he felt that he was too small and too weak, right? Because all the other animals were bigger, stronger than he was. But as we read on in the story, when we get to the end, we will find out that a small mouse scared a big elephant. How did he do that? Well, the answer is pretty simple, and I'm going to tell you what it is. It was by using something that he thought was his weakness. So Afuwe thought that he was too small and too weak. He thought that it was his weakness, but Afuwe's weakness became one of his best qualities. Even though he thought he was too small, by being small, he could run away from the owl and hide in a small place where the owl couldn't find him. And when he thinks he's too weak, that just makes him run faster, which means that he can't get caught, right? So those are secret superpowers. Now I know that Afuwe is in a story, so I'm going to give you some real life examples of superpowers so that we can kind of find out what our superpower is. So I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to answer on the count of 3. Are you ready? Let's go. My question is this. Are you shy? 1, 2, 3. I hope you answered. All right, now if your answer is no, then congratulations, you've got an amazing superpower. You're the kind of person who can go out and meet new people and have fun and just not be scared of meeting new people. That's bravery and that is amazing. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be like you. Now, if you are the person who answered, yes, I am shy, well, that is cool as well because you, my friend, are in good company and you have got a secret superpower. Now, let me tell you a secret. I am shy. Yeah, I'm shy. And so are a lot of other people. In fact, there are a lot of famous people who are shy. And I'm going to tell you something about all the actors and actresses that you see in films and cartoons and on the screen. They are actually kind of shy, but they use their shyness and turn it into a superpower. It means that they become the character that they're playing, so they can disappear into the character that they're playing, so that when you're watching a film, you're not seeing the actor. What you're seeing is the character that they're playing. I think that is pretty cool. All right. And what if you're not so good at learning and studying in school? Well, a lot of the most successful businessmen and women, actors, musicians, artists, they are not good at school. Now, let me tell you about some people. Henry Ford. Before Henry Ford came about, it used to take like a month to make one car. Then Henry Ford came and said, wait a second, I think we can make 10 cars in one day. How about 20? How about 50? What about 100? We can make more cars. So Henry Ford was the person who mass-produced cars. Then we have Thomas Edison. The light bulbs, when you flick the switch on and off and you turn the light on, that's because Thomas Edison created the first electric light bulb. And then if you don't know Steve Jobs, then you don't know who's making your MacBooks, your iPhones, your iPads, your iPods. It was Steve Jobs that actually started up Apple and created all these amazing devices that we all use now. And guess what all of these men had in common? Yes, they were all dyslexic. Now, do you know what dyslexia is? Dyslexia is when you find it really hard to learn in school, and when you try and read, sometimes the words, they dance all over the page and they move left and right and they don't stay still for you to read them. That's what dyslexia is. And some of your favorite authors are dyslexic. Just because the words won't stay still doesn't mean that they don't use words and write them. So who here likes Captain Underpants? I bet you do. Yeah, well guess what? The author of Captain Underpants is dyslexic. Dav Pilkey is dyslexic. So see, dyslexia, shyness, all those things that you think make you weak, they can actually be your secret superpower. Yeah, so like I said, pretty cool, right? Now, if you've listened to everything that I've told you today and you still don't know what your superpower is, that is okay, because guess what? And this is another secret that I'm going to share with you. I didn't know what my superpower was until just a few years ago when I started writing. And then I discovered that I did have a superpower and I did have this imagination and I could write books like this. right? So if you don't know what your superpower is, that is perfectly fine. All you need to do is keep reading, read lots, and laugh and play and enjoy life and do what it is that makes you happy, because sooner or later, you, my friend, are going to find what it is that makes you special. All right. And that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this talk on what's your superpower. Make sure you read and finish reading if you've got the book, The Greatest Animal in the Jungle. And I will see you later, superhero. Bye-bye.
Clever Clogs Books. Books that inspire, excite, and entertain children, parents, and teachers. Visit cleverclogsbooks.com to buy your copies today. Hi, my name is Joyce Daniels and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos is a big city bustling with people. It is easy for children to get lost as well as adults too. Lagos is even more adventurous for Lara and Dara as they start boarding school. In this session of Akada Children's Book Festival 2020, Aduke Gomez will be reading a part of her book, Adventures of Lara and Dara, Lost and Found in Lagos.
Having worked for many years in various leadership roles, Aduke utilizes her legal and advisory skills to assist in business and creative development. Aduke was recently able to combine her interest in Nigerian history with her work as consulting producer on the acclaimed Kuramo Productions documentary on the history of Nigeria, Journey of an African Colony. Aduke's published collection of poems was featured as a festival book for both the Lagos Book and Art Festival in 2017 and the Ake Festival 2017. Her recent children's book, Lost and Found in Lagos, a collaboration with the Biola Alabi Media, was selected as one of Channel's TV Book Club Top 20 Books for 2019. She is currently the chair of the steering committee of Art for Life, an initiative of the Lagos State Ministry of Health established to introduce art and the practice of art into the entire healthcare process.
Hello everybody, my name is Aduke Gomez and I'm here to talk about the adventures of Lara and Dara, Lost and Found in Lagos. This book is about two sisters, Lara and Dara Giwa. At the beginning of the book, we meet Lara and Dara as they're about to take their common entrance exams and move into secondary school. After a series of adventures, Lara gets into secondary school and Dara eventually joins her. While during the first term, they fall into a bit of a problem. Dara begins to get bullied and Lara gets into what we might say joins bad gang. But along the way, Dara has decided to join the photography club, and in order to excel at the photography club, she decides that she's going to go to the Ayo Festival on Lagos Island and take photographs. The excerpt I'm going to read now is of her arrival at the festival and her experiences. So, as we meet them, this is Dara and her friend Sal. They have arrived at the TBS Square, that's the Tafawa Balewa Square, you know, where the bus stop is. And they have taken the BRT bus down and they've arrived. And so as they get down from the bus, these are Dara's experiences. I have never seen so many people in my life. Everywhere I look, they are walking towards the huge gates of the complex from all directions. There are men in hats that look like the Ayo hats in the video Sal showed to me. Women dressed up in fabulous outfits. Families out for the day with the children excitedly pulling at the adults' hands. Foreign tourists with huge cameras around their necks and all of them not wearing their shoes. And the food, the smell of frying and roasting filled the air. Mommy should have been here with me. All her favorite foods from the Book and Joints TV show seemed to be on display. Suya, yo-yo, egg roll, chin-chin, dundun, you name it, they are all here for sale. My own huge breakfast of yam seemed to be so long ago. And when I finally saw the woman frying puff puff, I couldn't resist those little golden balls of dough. The puff puff is so hot that at first I can barely hold it in my hands, despite the sheets of white paper that the seller has wrapped it up in. Sal and I have walked along from TBS and have almost reached Freedom Park, the former colonial Broad Street prison, when I shamefacedly remembered to offer Sal some puff puff, having stuffed my mouth with at least 6 by then. It's a prison, you say? I nod in the direction of the huge white walls ahead of us, which Sal has just pointed out to me. Not again, it's been converted into a park. Those walls look very old. Isn't it scary? No, it's calm and relaxing, and they hold shows there. Oh, wow, shows? What kind of shows? Yeah, music shows, things like that. I make a note to tell Lara about the shows if we ever start speaking again. Maybe Daddy will take us. He likes old buildings and things like that. We have turned off to the right, and there in front of us is City Hall, and I see the Eyo masquerades for the very first time. Sal was right. This has to be seen in real life. It's impossible to describe. As the Eyo procession makes its way along the street, there seem to be thousands of tall figures, all draped and robed from head to toe in brilliant, gleaming white. It is a magnificent sight. The Eyo are dancing, some leaping much higher in the air than you would expect, with a triumphant yell of "Yeswa!" As they pass in front of us, the crowds in the street are waving back at the Eyo, and everyone seems to be having a good time. I relax and get on my phone to start taking photographs as the Eyo are blessing the crowds with their sticks. The cries of "Eyo Agogoro" ring in the air, and it is a thrilling experience. At last, there's a break in the procession, so Sal signs for us to run across the road and head down through the streets behind City Hall to go to his grandmother's house. The streets are not as wide here, and they twist and they turn. Everyone is friendly, and from time to time, Sal goes up to greet a few of the families sitting in groups and chatting around their houses. We see a tiny Eyo, and he's so cute. The adults guiding him are very careful to make sure he is not overwhelmed by all his robes, not to mention the hat and the stick. He manages it all somehow and is happily dancing with a few other children who don't seem to be as afraid of him as they are of the older Eyo masquerades. We still all have our shoes off, and my bare feet are beginning to hurt. I stop and I take a few more pictures. I see Sal further ahead of me along the road and hurry to catch up with him so I can show him the photos I have taken of the little Eyo on my phone. I reach him and call out his name, but he doesn't seem to hear me above all the noise. So I tap him on his shoulder. He turns around. It's not Sal at all. It's a boy about his height and wearing the same type of black t-shirt, which I now realize must be a sort of uniform for the supporters of a particular Eyo group. I say I'm sorry and hurriedly move away from him to stand beside a woman selling soft drinks. I buy one from her, and I think that if I stay here for a while, Sal will surely realize we have been separated from the crowds and come back and find me. Sal, where are you now? I finished my drink a long time ago. After that, I bought some chewing gum because the way the woman was looking at me, she didn't seem happy for me to just stand for too long beside her makeshift kiosk without buying anything. Then I start to walk back in the direction I last saw Sal. I dig out my phone from my waist bag. I see that Sal has called me several times, but I must not have heard the phone ring because of all the noise around me. I dial his number, and just as it connects and I hear his voice, the battery dies. No amount of banging it on the back of my hand seems to bring it back to life. I have no idea where I am, but I think if I can just get back to TBS, then I can get the bus back to Ikeja, and I know how to get home from the bus stop at Maryland. Lucky for me that the bus is free today. I've used up all my money that was left over from buying the puff puff and the soft drinks earlier. I asked some boys selling bags of cold pure water how to get back to TBS. They give me such complicated directions that even I know they don't know the way. When they begin arguing with each other, I give up expecting any help from them. So I thank them and move on, deciding to walk back the way I came. I seem to be making progress as I recognize some of the buildings that Sal had pointed out to me earlier. It is hot though. I don't have any money to buy anything to drink. My head aches and my feet are hurting from walking on the rough surface of the streets as I dare not put on my slippers after I saw some of theirs use their sticks to beat a man who had forgotten to take off his own shoes. It seemed they might have only been playing with him, as the people sitting around and watching were pointing and laughing. But as anti-patients would say, it seemed like a kind of rough play to me, as the sound of the blow seemed real enough, and I saw him rubbing his arm with his other hand after the Ayos had left him alone. After a while, I realized I have passed a particular house with "Beware of 419" boldly scrawled over the walls in bright red paint 3 times. There can't be 3 houses that look all like this one, with its yellow walls, a green door, and a little balcony area with a red fence. If I'm walking in circles, then I must be lost. I decided to walk on a little more before panicking. Instead of turning left at the next junction, I turn right. Around the corner, I find myself on a small street that I haven't passed before. This street seems to be a close, with lots of grown-up people sitting outside their houses, eating, drinking, and loudly talking to one another under the decorated canopies. I notice them staring at me and decide to go up to an old woman who is sitting alone outside a house at the corner of the street that has blue pillars and some painted carvings of what looks like pineapple shapes on top. Lara, I turn as I hear my name, and yet it's not my name. The voice is hollow and doesn't sound like a human voice, but there it is again. And a masquerade is calling my name. It can't be. But from across the street, it seems that this tall Ayo is pointing his opambata at me. There are a group of them standing together, all of them tall and wearing black hats. These ones don't seem friendly, not like the ones Sal and I had danced with earlier. They seem to be waiting for something and are holding themselves aloof from the activities of the street and under the canopies. The people on the street are treating them with respect. There's no loud joking around these ones. The one who points at me leaps across the street in one hop to where I'm standing with a swirl of his white robes and his hat inclined towards me. I am too frightened to run, and besides, where would I run to? He's so close now that I can see all the beautiful markings carved onto the staff. He raises it up so high I'm almost blinded by the sun as I try to look at it. I close my eyes and I shudder as I see him quickly bring it down with force on my shoulders. It turns out to be just a light tap. As I open my eyes in relief, I hear him utter the greeting, Moyo funwa arami, that I've heard all day from the other Ayos. Oddly, his version seems genuine and more sincere, and he taps me lightly once again on my shoulder. He suddenly turns from me to the old woman and uses the staff to point to me. He says something quickly to her that I don't catch, and the old woman immediately stands up, gestures to me to cross over the gutter to where she's now waiting for me. Before I can object, she leans forward, then grabbing my arm to balance me on the wooden plank that serves as an unsteady crossing over the gutter, she bundles me into the house. I do hope you enjoyed that excerpt from The Adventures of Lara and Dara, Lost and Found in Lagos. If you want to know more about Lara and Dara's adventures and get a copy of the book for yourself, do reach out to Biola Alabi Media on either Instagram or Twitter, and you can request from them details of where you can buy the book. If you'd like to talk to me, you can reach me on Twitter on DuxieG, and I hope you enjoy the book and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Wow, that was truly enjoyable reading. Now I want to get the book, and you should too. Remember, reading is a delight that we should always engage in. You can browse through our book exhibition and art exhibition to see more books and creativity unleashed, and of course, buy. After the festival is over, run to the Google Play Store to get the Clever Clogs app. The app is perfect for children aged 2 to 6. It teaches how to tell the time, how to understand colors and shapes. From time to time, we add free books to the app. So check out the new app and ask an adult to help you download it to your device. Please give us your feedback when you use the app so we can make it even better. We want you to click on the button that says certificate. Fill the form or ask an adult to help you for a chance to get your certificate of attendance. Now let's head over to the Giggle Box segment. But remember, light up the world, share a story.
Hello everyone, my name is Chema Mera, aka Chigol, and welcome to Gigglebox on the Akada Children's Book Festival. Yes, we're going to be giggling, so let's get started. Now let's talk about Ben again. Teacher says, Ben, can you make a sentence with green, pink, and yellow? Ben says, yes, teacher, I can. Teacher says, okay, Ben, make a sentence with green, pink, and yellow. Ben, oh, I know. When the phone ring, green, green, I pick it up and I say, yellow. Let me ask you, what is it that you can catch but you can never throw? Think about it. What can you catch but you can never throw? A cold! You can catch a cold but you can't throw a cold!
We understand that it's not just about sending some money home for the holidays.
We just received the money right now.
You're welcome, Mom. I told you I would send it.
That was so fast. I was thinking we'll get it tomorrow.
Yes, Dad. That's why it's called an instant transfer.
Thank you, my baby.
I'm your only baby here.
It's knowing that anywhere, anytime, anyway, you can always pay. Flutterwave, simplifying payments for endless possibilities.
On that note, let me warmly welcome you to the 2020 edition of the Akada Children's Book Festival here in Lagos. This year it's virtual, and my name is Ifeoma Edigbe. I'm the chairman of Clever Clogs Limited. So what is this festival all about? It's really to say that books are important, and that the way to get children to read is to expose them to books at an early age. The way to get anybody to read is for them to start reading early. And to promote authors that are of African descent, since we're Nigerian, since Akada Books Festival and Clever Clogs Nigeria Limited is a Nigerian organization.
My name is Abiola Seriki Ayeni, Director General, Office of Education Quality Assurance, Lagos State Government. Firstly, it's crucial that you position yourself for government partnerships. Government is committed to providing an enabling environment to all of our stakeholders, not just a privileged few. You must keep this in mind as you create your end products.
If you want to write engaging children's books, you need to pay attention to detail, and I'll explain in a bit. Number 2, decide. You are going to have to be very specific and make decisions about what type of book, what category, and so on and so forth that you want to write about and for. Number 3, read. You are going to have to read copious amounts of industry material even before you get to number 4. And number 4 is to write.
Step 1. We can't go anywhere without words. So the first step is scripting. Yeah, so you have your book and it's got beautiful words in it, but you need to get it ready for the screen. When you were writing your book, you should have, not all of you might have, but you should have thought about the world your characters are living in. Now, what does that mean? It means that you have to give them a history, a backstory. Where do they live? Who do they live with? What kind of housing do they live in? What is their social bracket? All those things. What are the family dynamics or the dynamics between the characters? How do they see the world? And in building this history and backstory for your characters, you give them a unique voice. So that's the first part in building the script before you even kind of start fleshing things out. So fleshing things out. You have a book and it has wonderful words on every page. However, your 2 pages of a book, which might cover one scene in the book, those 2 pages aren't going to cover an entire scene in a script or in an animated episode. So what you need to do is you need to take that scene in your book and flesh it out. What's the action that happens in those 2 pages?
Okay, so first thing is, what is animation essentially? Animation is a method of photographing sequential drawings, models, and even puppetry to create an illusion of moment. That's essentially what it is. So whether it be drawings or models, either it be drawings like in form of 2D or in models in form of 3D, or even puppets, which is stop motion. It's a way to arrange those movements in a way that it gives you an illusion like they're moving. So that's what happens in animation. You actually believe that these characters are alive, you believe the story, you believe who they are, and all that is because the entire production has been animated for you to believe that.
So the 6th thing you have to consider, or at least I considered in choosing the right publishing platform, is reporting. Not so important to everyone, but I'll tell you why it was important to me. Now, if you really want to make an informed decision about how your book or your content is selling, sometimes you want to see the report. You want to see how many people are buying which book, at what time, from what country, when do they buy, and that's why the reporting is important.
You're going to include illustrations in your work. You need to understand that that is not the way to think. You're not just writing a linear story where you're going from the beginning to end and you're going to decide where you're going to put illustrations, especially if it's a picture book. It actually takes a lot more planning than that.
The next thing you want to determine, your characters. What kind of characters do you want to portray in your book? Do you want human characters or you do want animal characters? Animal characters are easy for children to relate with, but human characters show them the reality that they are used to. So you need to determine which character you want to portray in your book. Do you want it to be animals conversing, or do you want to be a discussion between humans, children of course, and adults? Because your focus is at children, you have to ensure that the characters reflect children's reality.
You need to also understand how users use the internet as it relates to looking for a product or looking for your book. There's what we call the zero moment of truth. That's ZMOT. Now, truth is when anybody's looking for anything, especially when you're using the internet, you need to go through that ZMOT, zero moment of truth.
Let me just give you a brief summary of the channels that you may consider putting yourself out there on. So this can either be your business or yourself personally. I tend to think that it's important to have a representation both for your business and for you. As an author, you want to stand out. As an author, oftentimes people want to know the person behind the writings.
Part of getting paid ropes into knowing the legal aspect of things, which is the contract. So if you are doing illustrations for a client, it's very important for you to have a contract and to go through the contract carefully and be sure that the terms are terms that you are comfortable with. You can have a lawyer review it with you, but working professionally without a contract is not advisable.
What is illustration? Illustration is the visual interpretation of verbal content. It could be stories in text, it could be animations, it could come in form of object act, where objects are used to express the meaning of a text or a story.
I think it's so important to approach the story in a very simplistic way. As the illustrator, it's my job, first of all, to get a hold on the story and say, what's this story about? What really is the author trying to pass across to the children? And what is the very basic message of the book. Once you have that out of the way, you can start to develop the fun parts about how you're then going to translate that message to a child who's reading the book.
If your customer doesn't find value in your app, they would delete the app from their phones. It's what is going to happen. So customers would only keep apps or even download apps that they find value in. So very important that every objective we set for our app must be linked to a customer value. That is very important. That's, I think, one of the most important things, you really need to take out from this workshop.
But now let's go to the benefits of editing. Before I even tell you any of the benefits of editing and hiring a professional editor, especially if you can just stretch that naira or kobo, pound or penny or dollar a little further to make sure that your work gets the attention it deserves. Well, 1, the aim of editing and proofreading is to make your work better.
What exciting goal have you achieved? You've written a book, that's an exciting goal. What else? What exciting goal have you achieved? Write it. Number 5, what topic have you spent hours developing yourself on? Like you read about it, you research on it, you attend trainings on it. Like you're better than the average person because you've developed yourself on that topic.
It has been a truly enlightening day with inspiring guest speakers, 10 workshop sessions covering various topics around perfecting your book craft, digital books, and the business of books. If you missed any session, you can always request for the recording via www.cleverclogsbooks.com/Akada. If you're yet to register for yourself and the children for tomorrow's event, please hurry now to the website and register. Remember, registration is free. There will be various book readings, storytime sessions, music, special kids comedy session done by Chioma Omerua, aka Chiggle, book chats, mini workshops for children, and information sessions for parents and teachers. Join us at 8 a.m. tomorrow to 8 p.m. for non-stop fun for the whole family. Please share the highlights of the festival with us using the hashtag Akada2020 at home.